All right, so the National is only 4 days away. I am in Michigan, and I was able to go to the Lansing card show today. There were 200 plus tables at the show, pretty good size actually. I remember when I first started going to this show a few years back, I remember it only being like 70 or 80 tables, somewhere around there. It's just grown a lot. Was able to have some really good conversations with dealers and fellow collectors. Really was a great show. I was going for quality over quantity. Specifically, I was basically looking at the rare and fair approach where, if I found something that I wasn't sure I was going to see at the National that was fairly priced, or something that I wanted that was, a really good deal, I was going to go ahead and pick it up. I spent about $280 today. So I put a little bit of a dent in the budget, but I'm really happy with what I picked up. So as I'm getting into these pickups for today, if you haven't already, if you consider subscribing to the channel, that would be great. Sometimes I forget to remind people. And so if you would consider that, that would be awesome. All right, so let's get into these cards. So I want to go through these things first, and then I have a couple of questions for you guys going into the National as well. Let's get into some cards first. So the first one is a Donruss dual rookie sweaters card of J.J. McCarthy and Dallas Turner. This card is unnumbered. It's got the price tag on it. I paid $10 for it. It came in a mag, a one-touch mag holder. Hadn't seen the card before. I'm not saying that they're especially rare, but for $10, I thought that was kind of an easy pickup. I am a Michigan fan. I am a J.J. McCarthy fan, but I am also a Lions fan, so it's going to get a little tricky when Minnesota plays against Detroit during the season. When they're not playing the Lions, of course, I'll root for J.J. And I'm actually pretty high on him as a player and a quarterback prospect. He didn't play last year because of the knee, but I think he's going to surprise some people. I think he's got a lot of talent, actually, and he's got great weapons with Minnesota. So I'm kind of big on him. I didn't talk about him too much in my other videos leading up to the National, but I'll be looking for some more stuff of him coming up at the show also. Second card that I got was another JJ. It is a Phoenix number 2/350. There was a sticker on it for like $35. I offered $30 for this card. The seller accepted. It looks pretty good. I'm going to look at this Phoenix card for sure. If the condition is as good as it looks, I'll probably go ahead and drop that off at my group submitter, Wax Pack Nation at the National for grading. So if it's in good shape, I'll probably get that one graded. The third card is a Spectra, and this one is number 299. And the seller was asking $45. I offered $40, went ahead and took that. So pretty happy with that one also. Some numbered J.J. McCarthy rookie is never a bad thing in my opinion. Same, I will look at this card a little bit closer. I looked at this one a little bit closer before I bought it. It looked really nice. So I will probably get that graded if it's as clean as I think it is. I did look at a couple of other... There were some sellers that had some great McCarthy stuff today. I saw a select tie-dye number 225 that a seller had. I saw a select, it was some sort of like, I think it was like a blue disco number 225. Saw some really nice low numbered stuff. So it actually got me kind of thinking and got me more excited for the National because, you don't even realize sometimes the number of lower numbered cards that are available for the players that you want. And I know sometimes people say that's a bad thing, but it's also a good thing in that there's more options. Because I don't just like to buy anything that's serial numbered per se. I got to really like the design of the card. And having some more parallels out there sometimes can be a good thing. I know sometimes it's a little bit overkill as well. But this last card here is the big one. So the year is 1992. We were buying packs of Fleer Ultra. Fleer Ultra was pretty expensive at the time. I want to say it was like $1.50 a pack, maybe more, like $1, I don't know, like $1.79 or $1.99 or something. It was more expensive for sure. Keep in mind that when I first started collecting cards, packs were 50 cents or less a piece. So when you start talking about over $1, you're talking about doubling and potentially tripling or maybe even more the price. But anyways, the year's 92. It's Shaq's rookie year. They have packs and boxes of Series 1 Fleer Ultra. I'd always heard that there were some autographs in this product, and I know that there were the year before. In 91, Fleer, there were Dikembe Mutombo, I believe, and Dominique Wilkins autographs. But much like the North American Sasquatch, I had never really seen one in person. So I hadn't seen those in person from 91 until many years later. I have seen a Mutombo and a Dominique since 1991. But in 1992, they had Scottie Pippen autographs randomly inserted into Series 1 Ultra packs. I had never seen one and was today years old the first time that I saw a Scottie Pippen autograph, and it was at the Lansing show today. When I saw the design, I immediately thought that I knew what it was. So take a look at this card. So this is a 1992 Ultra Scottie Pippen pack pulled on-card autograph. And check this out too. It even has the Fleer authenticity stamp right on the card. I'll kind of zoom in on that a little bit so you can kind of take a better look on that picture. So again, this is the first one that I've seen in 33 years. I have looked at a lot of cards. I've been back into collecting since 2007. So I've been back into this for 18 years. In that time, I couldn't tell you, I don't even have a guess as far as the number of cards I've been through. Never saw one of these. Was talking to a dealer, he and I had a really good conversation. I'm like, is that card what I think it is? Is that a pack pulled Pippen autograph? And he's like, yeah, as a matter of fact, I had pulled it myself. And I don't know how recently he got it graded, but fairly recently. And the story was just really cool. So we're kind of talking about it, kind of reminiscing about that how difficult the pulls these were and stuff like that. And I ended up looking at the pop report. He showed it to me first, but I went back and looked too. This card overall in PSA is a pop 10. And in this grade, it is a PSA 9 mint for the card and an 8 for the autograph. It's a pop 4 with none higher. These are extremely, extremely rare. This absolutely positively was not something that I was looking for going into the show. But once I saw it, I knew I was going to be going home with it. He had a price tag of $225 on there. I try to be pretty transparent with pricing and what I pay for stuff on here. I don't think it's a secret by any means. I offered $180. We settled at $200. I was happy with that. Sure, there could be an example in the past of one that had sold for less, but not in this grade. At least highly unlikely in that grade because, man, they're tough. This was a nostalgia buy for me. I am a Bulls fan, so I am a Pippen fan. I'm not really a Pippen collector, though. I don't really have any Pippen stuff outside of this. But this really got me thinking. So if you happen to have a 91 Fleer pack-pulled Mutombo or Dominique Wilkins, if you want to sell one of those or both of those at the National, please let me know. I'd be interested in those because that really got me thinking, like, for nostalgia's sake, because I remember opening those packs and thinking, wow, there could be a potential autograph in here. But again, much like the Sasquatch, I never see them. At least the Mutombo and the Wilkins, though, I have. I've seen those once or twice before. So I guess my moral of the story at this show is, one, if you're going to go to a show prior to the National, or if you're browsing on eBay prior to the National, and you see something that's rare and fair and it's in your budget, go ahead and just pick it up. Because you don't know if you're going to see it at the National. It's highly unlikely that I'm going to see this card at the National. There's only 3 other ones that are graded this high. So highly unlikely that it's going to happen. Put a little dent in the National budget, but not big enough to be really of a big consequence. Like I said, I had some great conversations with dealers, some of which said that they're going to be going to the National. And the ones that I talked to didn't say that they were setting up. They were just going there, to walk and buy and things like that. So hope to run into some of those dealers there again. Like I said, we had some great conversations. Now, I got a question for you. So I've really been looking to kind of go into this show with a list of cards that I'm looking to buy. And I'll show you the list here. So one, if you have any these cards on the list and you want to sell them or you're looking to trade, I'd be interested. Now, with that said, Tom Brady's. I realized that one of the holes that I have in my collection right now is I don't have a Brady rookie. And I'd like to change that at this year's National. In a perfect world, I'd like to get an SPX. I think they're numbered to 1350. In a perfect world, that would be the card I'd like to pick up. I really like the design, but it's expensive. I mean, it's, I'd like to have an 8 or below, let's say. I think the last 8 sold for like 1,800, I want to say. They're 1,800 to $2,000 anyway. They're pretty expensive, but that would be my top choice. Upper Deck graded would be another one that I would consider for sure. But what are your guys' thoughts as far as like second tier? Those two are pretty expensive. Slightly less expensive, but still up there. I was thinking maybe like a Bowman Chrome in like an 8. I would consider BGS or PSA. I'm kind of okay with either one. But I'm thinking maybe it would be time to get into a Bowman Chrome. Or maybe like, what do you think about like a Black Diamond? I read online that those are numbered to 2,400, but I don't see any numbering on the actual cards. People are selling them, and they're a little bit cheaper. They're in that 500-600 range. Again, I'm looking around an 8. I'm not looking for super high grades. I'm not looking for 10s or anything on any of these. Other thoughts, numbered, maybe like a Leaf, maybe like a Donruss, maybe unnumbered like an Upper Deck. I would like Pro Uniform, or at least like Pro Helmet. There's a lot of his rookies where he's in like sweatpants and stuff like that because they're basically like, where he's working out and must be like training camp or summer camp or something like that. I don't know. That's kind of my thought process right now. It's like maybe going for a top tier, an SPX, Upper Deck graded, Bowman Chrome to recap. Or maybe a mid-tier, a Black Diamond. Maybe a base Bowman. What kind of thoughts do you have about Brady rookies? Do you have any recommendations at all? I feel like this is the year. I'm not really opposed to getting a numbered rookie of his in a Michigan uniform, given that I am a Michigan fan. So if you got any suggestions on that too, I would certainly consider it. I would like to get something numbered. If it's not numbered, I would like for it to... The only ones I've seen so far that are not numbered that I'm interested in would be Bowman Chrome, Bowman, and Upper Deck. So if you have any unnumbered suggestions outside of that, please let me know too. So again, I've just been kind of thinking about this lately, and this is good. This should be the year where I try to pick up a Brady. You would think that maybe his prices would start softening a little bit, and maybe they have from COVID times because most things have. But I don't know. He's the GOAT, and he's from Michigan, so need to get a nice Brady. So looking forward to the show. It's coming up so fast. The end of July is really coming up fast also. I hope that if you're going to the show that you have safe travels getting there. And just remember that I do plan to make 1 to 2 videos per day at this year's show. So if you're not able to attend, I'm going to be doing a lot of showcase video and posting those videos daily as long as the Wi-Fi permits. We'll see you in the next one.